was it? Like a full-time job.
Yeah. Good thing neither of us are working.
And then tell me what you have. So it's so funny.
How's it, everybody? And welcome to the Daily Pigeon. My name's Andy Bumatai.
And I'm James Money.
And you are watching a television show that we edit from a podcast. That's why it says podcast up there, okay? Now, the regular viewers know that what we do is every day at 3 p.m. on most major social media networks, we do a podcast.
Yes,
and
live.
from that podcast, we edit out this television show.
Yes.
We're not saying that to brag. We're saying that to warn you. Before you fully commit to this show, there are other wonderful viewing opportunities available.
Yeah.
You may want to click around first.
Yeah, check your local listings.
But you know what? Today's not the day because we have a special guest coming up. Hey, Thomas the Turtle, thank you for subscribing. That's happening on the internet side, gang, not on TV. But today is the day you might want to hang around because starting in segment 2, we have a special guest, Olena Hill. You know her as a former Miss Hawaii. She's a host of television shows. Now she's into digital marketing. Very interesting guest. You want to hang out for that, okay? But I would like to editorialize about something.
Ooh.
Yes, we do that. We take news clips from the internet, and then James and I voila all and give you our opinion on it. I know. But before you send us emails that say, you guys wrong, you all mess up, forget what you... We know that. Okay, you just save the bandwidth and your breath.
Yes.
But check this out.
All new tonight, some Kaneohe residents are threatening legal action to keep a developer from building what they consider a monster home.
The developer
home.
says it's really a senior care home, and he's already scaled down the project. Our Rick Daysog has both sides, new at 6.
It just kills me. You think it was Red Bull that didn't want the monster
667
home?
Kaneohe Bay Drive is sandwiched between 2 cul-de-sacs where children still play and seniors take leisurely strolls. But developer Jacob Chan wants to build a 24-bed senior care home on the parcel, which he calls Hale Mahi Nui. That has triggered opposition from neighbors who worry that the added density will mean more traffic, more noise, and less parking.
Yeah.
Plenty.
This really does change the fabric of the neighborhood. The average home size is barely 2,000 square feet, and they want to wedge a 12,000 square feet facility in the middle of this tiny little neighborhood.
I always have issues with people who make signs.
Has 4 neighbors that this
Nobody
monster
can-
home
come on,
will
do
be
nicer.
abutting.
I mean,
so I think about
visual,
their
make it
quality of life and
stand
how it
out.
will affect
They're not
them.
graphic artists.
I would like them to-
Protesters.
Police
I would like them
officers
to be,
coming
maybe.
to the neighborhood at all times of the day, affecting
Look at
the
that
whole
sign
neighborhood
that's
as
behind
a
me.
community.
The City Department of
It's okay.
Planning and
Look at this.
Permitting
This is a nice
has issued a
sign.
conditional
Exactly.
use permit for the facility, but neighbors have filed an appeal with the Zoning Board of Appeals. The neighbors say that if they do not get a favorable
Wait,
ruling
what was
from the
the name?
Zoning Board of Appeals, they'll go to court to block the project.
Rick
The city
Daysog.
says the project complies
Holly
with land use
Onuha.
ordinances, and that if the developer doesn't follow the permit requirements, it could halt all operations until the conditions are met. Jacob Chan says it's wrong to characterize
Look at
the
that.
project
It
as
was
a monster
3
home.
stories.
He says he initially downsized the project from a 3-story complex to a 2-story building
you
due to
imagine?
the opposition.
In your neighborhood.
As a former
Did you count the
medical
parking
emergency
spaces?
technician,
Not enough.
Chan says he comes from
Not
a family
enough.
of medical professionals and first responders and has seen firsthand the need for senior care homes. Quote, "There's too much at stake because the community needs adult residential care homes. The line is 1.5 years long." The Zoning Board of Appeals will
Hey, look,
begin
I
hearings
blend
in July.
in.
Rick Daysog, Hawaii News Now.
Wow.
Man, that's...
I know. I loved Keone. What was the name? What was it? I don't know. I didn't pick. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Keone, what was the name? Do you remember? What was it? It was Holly.
Hale, well, Shakalak thinks it's Hale Mahi Nui.
Holly Mahi Nui? Is that what he?
I think
yeah.
that's what I
know.
heard.
Holly Mahi Mahi.
Oh, delicious house.
I don't know. But you know what?
Hale ma'i nui.
Ma'i. That's where he was going with that. Oh, the Hale. Well, let's not go there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hale mahi nui. I heard hale ma'i nui. A little different.
Yeah, little. I think a lot different. I think a lot different.
I know.
Thomas the Turtle said with tartar sauce.
Okay, stop, Comedy Mind, stop. Oh my goodness.
So the parking will be horrendous.
Oh, look at this. Mad Statter says senior care homes are valid. There's valid need for them in neighbors, but a bunch of seniors really seemed to be least likely cause of traffic. Well, it's not the seniors.
It's the guests, the visitors, but also it's in the residential area. It's not like, somewhere easily accessible. So the people that live in that neighborhood are going to have strangers park in front of their house, and they don't have sidewalks on those streets.
Well, that's most senior assisted senior
living.
They're
homes.
in residential areas. I mean, Hale Nui. I mean, what is that? Kahala Nui is right in the middle, but it's slightly off the freeway and stuff. And most places are, but still. Imagine you got 4 neighborhoods around you, and all of a sudden there's this 12,000 square foot monolith inside.
Yeah, I think that's why those neighbors are complaining, because it's going to happen on their street.
Here's Shakalaka saying residents, workers, visitors.
Yeah,
I know.
It's going to be, and then also the ambulance coming in and out.
Yeah, and not only that, if you've ever lived next to a senior's home, they party.
Oh yeah, do they?
Oh man, just blasting that Glenn Miller and
the Eagles.
Oh, I get the Eagles. And that's my generation, bro.
Maybe they'll make one next door. You can go. Your family can visit you.
Hey, just wait. This house will be a senior resident. Okay, let's see. We got 33 seconds left in our careers. Oh, I'm sorry. This segment, a little visit from Freud there. Sorry.
I haven't started my career yet.
Well, guess what? We may end it before it starts if we have anything to do with it. But you know what? Olena Hill will save us when we bring her back in the next segment. So don't go away, folks. The Daily Pigeon actually has somebody interesting to listen to. Imagine that. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. And if you listen carefully, you'll hear beautiful birds. That's not happening at my house. That's happening at our guest's house. And doesn't it sound wonderful? Who's our guest, you may ask? Well, it is none other than beauty contestant, talk show host,
entrepreneur,
digital marketer. Please help me welcome Olena Hill. Woo! Hi, Olena.
Thank you, guys. Oh, that was a lovely introduction.
Oh, thank you. Well, wait, hold on. I speak bird. Hi, my name is Flip. Oh, what an interesting name for a bird.
Strange that they're not speaking pigeon.
Yeah. No, went to private school speaking dove. Anyway, Olena, I wanted to ask you something. Way back, now we're going to go back a little bit, in 2004, right? Was that an interesting time for you? And the only reason I ask is I came across this picture.
Ooh. Yes. Dream come true, actually.
Look at that. I don't know if you can read that on the car. You people watching on your phone, it says Miss Hawaii 2004. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, and I got to drive that car. It was a Mercedes for 1 year.
So they let you use the Mercedes for 1 year. Tell us what that journey's like leading up to it.
Oh gosh, well for me it was a rather long one. I don't know if a lot of people are aware, but I first started competing for Miss Hawaii when I was 17 years old, back in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And when I ran, as I mentioned, I was 17 and I placed second runner up. So I came from Kauai. I was Miss Garden Isle, this young girl, going to Honolulu, trying to make it.
Yeah.
And the genesis of why I ran and competed for Miss Hawaii is it's actually a scholarship program. So some people think that, all pageants are like beauty, but this one in particular is all about gaining scholarships to go to school, and it's talent based and interview based. And so aside from being associated with other pageants that are more beauty focused, this is more of an academic and a scholastic competition that goes on to Miss America. So I competed and I came in second runner up, and then I went back home and I ran for Miss Kauai, and I won Miss Kauai, and I went back and I came in first runner up.
Wow.
And then I decided to take a little break and actually work and gain experience and travel. So I started working in radio at I-94 or Clear Channel Communications, and I worked in their marketing and promotions department, moonlighted a little bit on the air. And then a couple years later, I ran again and came in second runner up again. And then I ran a fourth time.
Olena, when you come in second place like that, do you get any academic benefits?
Oh yeah. So every time that I ran, I earned a 1-year tuition waiver to Hawaii Pacific University.
Oh wow.
In addition to other cash scholarships that would pay for books and things like that.
Very cool.
So fourth time was the charm. I competed as Miss West Oahu and I won Miss Hawaii. And it was a dream come true. Obviously, I had tried several times. Some other girls had competed several times before as well. So Carolyn Sapp, who was Miss America.
Sure.
Brooke Lee ran for Miss Hawaii many, many times and never won, but then ended up winning Miss Universe, which is a different pageant.
Our good friend.
Yep. And so for me, it was all about earning scholarships to go to school, go to college, life experience, career opportunities. And I definitely attribute all of my success to the pageant. So,
and tell me about as Miss Hawaii going to compete in is it Miss USA? Miss America.
Miss America.
Miss America. I'm sorry. So what was that like? Where did you have to go?
Oh gosh, that was crazy. So that was in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and that's where the Miss America pageant began. It started on the boardwalk, and it was actually a swimsuit competition, which was aimed at getting tourists to come down to Atlantic City. And so back when I ran, it was like the 76th or 78th anniversary of the program. It was live on ABC, and you don't really understand the weight on your shoulders that you're representing the entire state until you get to Miss America and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm Miss Hawaii, like I represent all of Hawaii. And so it was really unreal. I would cry a lot just because I was very overwhelmed with emotions.
Oh my goodness.
Only child, single mom, just didn't, it was just a really great experience.
Did people from Hawaii actually contact you that weren't involved with the pageant? You know what I mean? Like, hey, I know you were up in the West Side, but because this was before the internet and social media and all that stuff.
Yeah. So this is like definitely before social media. I had some people email me, and then so my mom being a single parent, I didn't have like a father figure. I didn't have any siblings, but I remember after the pageant, my voicemail was full.
Oh, wow.
And one of the calls was actually from my birth dad as well.
Whoa.
Yeah. So very interesting. The people that come out of the woodwork.
That must have been a double-edged sword.
It was, but it's also kind of interesting to see all those years that I kept trying, and then the people that want to piggyback on your success.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, so tough. So then you do Miss America, okay, and then you come back. Is that when you started your schooling?
So I actually started school when I was 17, and then I took a couple years off in between just because I didn't realize you're supposed to go to school every day.
What?
Because when you go to college, no one wakes you up in the morning and says go to class, right?
Yeah,
You're like an adult now.
Oh, no.
So I actually stopped going to class.
Yeah.
And but no, so after Miss Hawaii, I had to take a year off. And during that time, I was also working at Alan Wong's and working at the radio station. I was a waitress at Alan Wong's for over a decade. But I came back. I had one more year left at Hawaii Pacific University. And then I did my practicum at KHNL.
Well, I don't even know what practicum is, so you're going to have to help define that for me when we come back for the next episode. But that's amazing. And when we do come back, you know, on the educational side, want to know what you studied and how you applied it to what you went on to do. We'll be right back with more of Olena Hiu after this. No go away, eh? Okay, cool. I'm 5 seconds short. I'm killing time. Okay, hang in there. Here we go. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. The birds have returned, and those are the birds at our guest's house. But someone mentioned, I'm hearing cars in the background. Is that a washer and dryer going off? Yes, it could possibly be. We do this in our house.
Yes.
This is homemade television, ladies and gentlemen. Smell the freshness. And if cars driving by in the background or washers and dryers bother you, this may not be the program. But I would say suck it up, because it's worth it just to listen to our guest.
Yes.
Please help me welcome Olena Hiu. Hello, Olena. Are
Thank
these
you,
like
guys.
the worst intros ever?
I love it. They're the most entertaining by far. And at least you're getting the information correct.
Yeah, because you know what? We don't care. But I tell you what, I do care about, learning that even second place winners in beauty pageants got academic benefits that you, in fact, applied. Did you always have the goal of show business when you were taking these classes?
I wanted to be a lawyer back in the day. And then I realized I don't think that's fun. So I pivoted to speech and communication and broadcast.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm still very interested in law.
Yeah.
Well, but anyway, Kalamai, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about education. And so we left it off where I was, after Miss Hawaii, I was working on my final year studying for my bachelor's. And then I had a practicum, which is just a fancy word for internship.
Okay.
At a new station. And that's when the light bulb kind of went off.
Oh, okay. And when you did what's the first show? Was it Living
Island Style?
Island Style. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So actually, I left. So when I went to KHNL, they had me audition for morning show anchor.
Yeah.
And I was terrible. I was like super nervous. I, didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any TV experience because I was just an intern, right? And then I ended up getting hired at KHON after I kind of shopped around, and everyone told me that they wouldn't hire me, or that they told me that I should do the weather. And I was like, I don't want to do the weather.
Yeah.
So long story short, I go to KHON and I'm like, I don't want to do the weather. I want to be like a respected journalist. And they're like, okay, so they hired me with no experience to be a general assignment reporter. So I anchored the morning show at KHON for 7 years. And then I quit in 2014. And then a few years later, the first major TV show that I ended up hosting was on KITV, and it was called Island Style.
That was that's the show. By the way, beautifully shot. In fact, I think I have some footage on that. Let's take a look at the trailer you did. This was KITV?
Yes.
Okay, here. Check this out, guys.
Good morning, Hawaii. Happy Aloha Friday. I'm Olena Hiu, and here's what's happening tomorrow night on Island Style. On this week's episode of Island Style, we explore the innovative ways that creators and artisans are using space in Ward Village to bring together community, provide economic opportunities, and express themselves artistically. We visit the Kaka'ako Farmers Market and meet the local vendors that are providing locally produced foods for the community. Meet the makers at Namea Hawaii as they exchange knowledge and local goods, and learn what inspires a Honolulu artist as she creates her mural for Powwow Hawaii 2018. That's tomorrow night, right here on KITV at 6:30. Be sure to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Island Style TV.
I like the energy and the attitude. Island Style
Wow.
TV.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we wanted to take a show that was out and about and showcase local people and local places. And we didn't want it to be like in the studio. And so it was something that was very different and unique.
Yeah, and this is what leads into like social media or digital marketing, where when you go to restaurants and stuff and they want you to make a video, it looks similar to this. I kind of trained you to become that, I guess, with your...
Well, now hold on. That's for segment 5. Don't get us talking about it now. You're gonna blow the punchline. But I will tell you this though. I watched that footage that we just saw, and I'm like, oh wow, that looks like a real television show.
Not like this one?
Beautifully shot. No, I mean, and was that the KITV people, or did you have anything to do with the production?
I didn't have anything to do with the production. I definitely had everything to do with the vision and the branding and the name. So I came up with the name and all of that. But I actually am no longer a part of the show, and I started my own show, which I think you wanted to talk about later as well, which is called The Best Hawaii.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the next segment. But anytime people go, oh, why don't you do a show? It is not that easy to put together. I mean, what we watched right there probably took a week to shoot and put together. Am I wrong?
More than that, probably.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, because all those different locations and that sizzle reel.
Okay, and what happened to that show? Did you get tired of doing it, or what happened?
I moved on, and then honestly, my mom, that was back in 2018. She passed away from breast cancer.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry to.
Yeah, so you'll kind of see how everything connects in my life.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little more about that in subsequent segments. But man. Boy, you've had some ups and downs, definitely. What do you do to stay strong?
I think I always have goals, and I always have a desire to achieve more. And if it isn't for myself personally, like obviously when I was a teenager in my early 20s, I wanted to be Miss Hawaii. I wanted to get scholarships to go to school. And then, after graduating from college, I wanted a career. I wanted to be an award-winning journalist. And so I just kind of did everything that I had to do to kind of get there. So I just set new goals for myself every time. Yeah. I just, no holds barred, just keep going after it,
So what you do is to keep, you look to the future and don't dwell on the past. That would be your method.
Just keep looking forward and ahead. Yep.
Okay, there you go. Whew. We're going to talk more about that and how it led to The Best Hawaii, because you keep coming up with new stuff when we return. My name's Andy Bumatai.
And I'm James Money.
And we're talking to Olena Hugh. Right after this, don't go away. Thanks, Al.
And the birds.
Oh, and the birds. Ladies and gentlemen, listen closely. You hear those birds? Those are coming from the house of a guest that is not only beautiful, but smart and entrepreneurial, believe it or not. She did one show. We're going to talk about the show she did after that. Please help me welcome Olena Hugh. Hi, Olena.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
What does everybody else say when you introduce them and then they pop up?
Yeah, there you go. Wait, hold on. You're frozen a little bit. There, you're back. Yeah, you're back. Is that Elon in the background? Did you get the tweet reference? No? Okay.
I did.
Anyway,
I did.
thank you so much.
Might need some salon pas.
Salon Pas reaching for that punchline. Oh my goodness. Okay, I want to play another. This was actually a 5-minute segment, okay, but which was a little too long for the 8 minutes that we're talking about here. So I cut it up a little bit, okay. So take a look, what an interesting segment. And for those of you who have not had lunch or breakfast or dinner, depending on where you are,
Oh, it's poke.
this is a warning, okay? Check this out.
The Best Hawaii, presented by Hawaiian Telcom.
So Josh, tell me about the beginning of Ahi Assassins.
So Ahi Assassins was born on the side of the road in Kahalu. We were fishermen in our neighborhood, and like any old school neighborhood here, the fisherman does what he does best, fish. And when people needed fish for parties, baby luau, wedding, they would call us. And I used to say, who buys poke at the store? Because in our family or our neighborhood, if you need poke, you come to us. And we would provide it for many friends, many family till this day. So long before we were selling poke, we were providing it.
Okay, you've also got some amazing seafood treats, and I'm gonna taste this bad boy.
Fried ahi pieces, furikake and garlic.
Because
all
you
over.
don't waste anything.
Right, so that was parts of the fish. We just cut poke. Parts that aren't typically used for the poke might have little discoloration, or most times actually here, some people are used to the total fat on things. Well, the fat that gets trimmed off on the edge tastes really good fried too.
Yeah, I'm frying up the mahi collar.
We got one of those in the oven for you next.
How can people get more information, and where are you located?
So you can find us on the web, ahiassassins.com, on Instagram at multiple handles, ahi_assassins, and then ahi_assassins.pokeko. Here at Hawaii's Favorite Kitchen, we're at 3111 Castle Street, right next to the famous and iconic Rainbow Drive-In.
Yeah, check them out.
Check them out. Always fresh, always local. Something you'd be proud to serve your grandma.
Delicious.
I hope I did a good job cutting that up.
Good job. Yeah, that's
thank
perfect.
You probably know where the edits were too, don't you?
It still made sense though.
It did, and oh man, the shots of those food, broke them out. And here, Pokole T says, Ahi Assassins is the bomb. Wish they still had a town location. Was that the location he was talking about? They don't have that one?
Yeah, so they're no longer in town at that Hawaii's Favorite Kitchens, because that was a few years ago.
Yeah. Well, still a beautifully done, beautifully shot. Now, tell us about what led up to that show and how it worked for you.
Yeah, so I was actually on a trip in New Zealand, and I had this idea that I'm going to go out and create my own show. And the genesis of it all was that people usually like the best, right? You want to know where to get the best famusubi, the best shave ice, the best poke.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, well, that's my concept for the show. And I used to fly non-rev, which means standby. And my friend and I actually got left in the New Zealand airport. And so during that time when we were stuck in the New Zealand airport, unable to leave because we didn't get on the flight because we were standby, we came up with the concept. BEST would be an acronym. So it's beginning, expert, story, and try. So every episode starts with, tell me the beginning of XYZ. And so that is the format of the show. And so they're all about 5 minutes long. And ultimately, it is to support people, culture, cuisine, and crafts from Hawaii.
Did you? How many shows did you do of that? Segments did you do for that show?
So I started it in 2018, and there's a show every Wednesday.
Wow!
Haven't missed one.
And it's still going today.
Yes, and I'm actually sold out until June.
Wow! Congratulations! That's amazing. You. And this was one that you would say you produced?
Yes. So I actually film it, edit it, and obviously host it.
Yeah.
So it just literally became my show because I've had so much experience hosting other people's shows and coming up with the concept and this and that. And of course, I've worked with fantastic editors and videographers, but this is literally and truly my show.
Nice. And you're editing it? I'm sorry, did I hear you say that?
Yeah, so I actually show up and I video, and the video of me with the guy, it's on a tripod.
Yeah, I can tell that. And then oh my goodness.
And then I video the B-roll and then I edit it.
Whoa, too much. Yeah, it's funny because when James said, "Oh, here's some of Olena's stuff," and he sent me to your Dropbox, and there's like your B-roll and all that stuff. I said, "Man, this girl, does she ever sleep?" Right?
Well, I kind of had an idea of what we were doing, and I knew we were filming today, so I was like, you might need some pictures or B-roll to support what we talk about.
Yeah, because we're not as buttoned up as you.
You probably were shocked when you got the email and you said, "Holy crap, look at all this."
No, seriously, I went, wow. And not only that, it's beautiful. Yeah. That's a lot of times you get stuff from people and it's, what did I call it? Dramamine cam, and whatever, right? Now, when we come back, we're going to talk about the mastectomy thing. If you're comfortable with that, I know you're very open about it on social media. Okay, so we'll be right back with Olena Hugh after this. Okay, you don't want to miss this next segment. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And please, if you have the stomach for it, join us on our podcast, 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time on most social media networks. That's what we edit this show out of. Yes. And I promise you, if you're a glutton for punishment and want to see what we do while you're watching the commercials, wear protective gear. That's all I ask. Okay? But to give the place a little class, we have our guest, and she has been doing just that. Please help me welcome Olena Hugh. Hello, Olena.
Thank you. You have the best intros.
We try to scare the people away. Yeah. we can. But you know what? I wanted to talk to you about, and I was a little gun shy about asking you about this, but then in the pre-production, you said, "Oh no, I'm fine about that," and you were so upfront about it on social media. Okay, and what we're talking about, of course, is your double mastectomy, right? Why were you so open?
Well, first of all, I want to say I did not have cancer, because that's a major misconception that a lot of people think when they hear that I had a mastectomy removing my breasts.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so it was a preventative surgery. My aunt, my mom, and my grandmother all had breast cancer. And after my mom passed away from metastatic breast cancer, I tested positive for a genetic mutation. And so the genetic mutation took my already high risk of getting breast cancer in my lifetime and made it an extremely high risk for breast cancer. And so I wanted to be proactive, and by having a mastectomy, which means I surgically removed my breasts, I reduced my chances of getting breast cancer in my lifetime by over 90%.
Wow. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know that. How brave is this woman? Yeah. OMG. Now, I mean, I don't even know where to go with this, but How has you now? Okay, you know what? Let me do this. I'm going to play a video. James just pointed at the camera here to remind me to play a video because
Yes.
that absolutely stunned me, Olena. I got to tell you, because I had throat cancer, and knowing what that's like, I assumed I'm like you said, like most people. But watch this, and this is just just a tidbit of what she posted on social media.
So it's been exactly 1 week since I had my surgery, and I would actually say that today I felt like I had a lot of energy. I almost felt as if I was normal. Still just taking some Tylenol. I have this strange tingling sensation going on over here. And I get cold easily, and when I get cold, I almost feel like I can feel my nipples. So that's very bizarre, but it's like numb and tingly, and my range of motion is getting really good. That's a little questionable, but yeah. And then I had an area here was coming, it was like rubbing, and it's come off a little bit, and it was swollen and poochy or pooched. Sent a picture to my doctor. She said it looked okay, just to keep it dry and covered. I have my post-op tomorrow, so hopefully I will get my drains out. Sorry if that's gross. They're a little inconvenient. The area where the drains are taped and where the tubes go in is actually can be quite sore. I found that it's really sore in the morning when I first wake up. But feeling really good. I've been working. I did 2 loads of laundry today, and yep, doing good. I feel like I will be back in action sooner. I haven't driven yet, but that, once everything's healed, I'm gonna be super excited. So yeah, just trying to keep my shoulders from freezing. But I feel good, minus the numbing and the tingling.
Wow. Talk to me about the shoulder freezing. You've mentioned it a couple times.
Yeah, so a common thing that happened after surgery is frozen shoulder. I did not have that though, but because I don't have any breasts anymore, I do kind of hunch more than I should. So I still have to keep reminding myself. But the significance of the getting cold and feeling my nipples is that I actually don't have any nipples anymore.
Okay.
I had really large breasts, and they thought that it would be a little bit challenging to try to do nipple sparing. So that sensation of feeling like I had nipples was very unusual, right?
Yeah.
And then the drains that you saw where the fluid comes out, because obviously you have a major surgery, and then the body's trying to heal itself, so it's sending all the good cells there. The drains are meant to collect the fluid, and this might be TMI, but whatever.
Go for it.
Okay, where the drains are coming out, there are little scars, and they kind of look like nipples.
Yeah.
So I don't feel as bad about it.
Yeah, we got about a minute and a half left here, but did you consider like augmentation afterwards? Was that even available, or is it unhealthy to do that?
So it was highly, 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 extremely suggested that I get implants. Yeah. And I did not want to have implants put in. And my surgeon sent me to another surgeon, and then sent me to another surgeon, and they thought, it would be quite taxing psychological not to have breasts. Yeah. But I felt like the best choice for me was not to get any reconstruction and just go flat, which is really rare because a lot of women do get implants or have other things done to have breasts. But I decided not to.
How brave is that?
Yeah, my favorite thing is that you shared your story and your journey for other women who, this might be an option for them. So thank you for that. That's very brave of you to share your experiences.
But in Women's Empowerment Month, in Women's History Month here too, it has even more significance.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because the person who inspired me to share my story was my husband.
Oh,
And
good
so
support.
he's the reason why I made those videos.
Okay.
Good to have the support, the family.
Yes.
Wow. What a segment. Amazing. You know?
So I have spoken to women of all ages that are either going through cancer, going through treatment, or considering mastectomy. And the most recent one that I've spoken to was 89 years old.
Wow. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up with Olena Hugh after this. Mind blown. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. And if that last segment didn't lay you back in your chair, OMG. I know. In fact, I don't do this often, but here we go. That's the effect it had on me. Oops. And we're going to bring her back on to talk more about what's going on in her life. But I want her to finish up talking about the mastectomy and how she didn't have cancer. Please help me welcome Olena Hugh. Hi, Olena.
Thank you. Yeah, so a lot of people do ask, like, why would you do that? Like, why would someone willingly, never broke a bone, never had a surgery, remove their breasts? And so for me, it was all about, my mom, aunt, grandma, and close friends had all had breast cancer. And if you factor in a genetic mutation and extremely high risk, and you just do the math, how do I reduce my risk as much as possible? That just made sense to me.
Wow. So, what sort of feedback have you gotten from people who said, well, what are you, crazy? Or, I mean, and a lot of the women, thank you for the inspiration. Give me some of that feedback.
Yeah, I would say a lot of women that are either struggling with, possibly having breast cancer or wanting to have a mastectomy have reached out. Some women post-op have reached out for advice. And a lot of people find my story to be inspirational. And to me, I don't really find it inspirational because it's just something that I did that I thought would help save my life. But I'm very open about it. And I'm kind of a rare breed in that I didn't have any breast reconstruction done or any implants put in. And so usually, women have the surgery and then they have breasts, but I don't have any. And another question that I get asked a lot is if I still feel beautiful or feminine. And I say, yes, absolutely. I still feel like a woman. I dress, to what flatters my figure, and I don't wear prosthetics, and I don't have to wear a bra anymore.
Wow. That's stuff you don't even think about. I've heard women with large breasts going, okay, I've got the under boob sweat thing going right now, and I got to tell you, it's an issue. And what? You have no idea. And then all of a sudden, here you are, I'm free.
Yeah. It's quite a relief.
That's so amazing, especially the part about you still feel beautiful and you dress accordingly,
Yeah. Well, they asked me on the news. I was given an award by Susan G. Komen, and they had me on the morning show at Hawaii News Now. And then she said, do you still feel feminine? Like, and then do you think that some people might say that was kind of extreme? And I'm like, no.
What?
I mean, it's my choice, right? My body.
No, you mean trying to save your life? Would you think that was too extreme?
Thank you for that.
Oh my goodness, I know. Okay, here's just, I'm a comic, so you got to forgive me. Did anyone say, listen, are you planning to be transgendered?
No. Sometimes I feel like I might look like a lesbian.
No, but I mean, has anyone ever asked you if that was your intent?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but like sometimes when I wear a t-shirt, I feel like I'm not sure, like, if people think, like, is that a guy or is that a girl? But I feel like I look pretty feminine.
Yeah, I think you do. I would say so.
Beautiful too.
It doesn't matter. I really don't care.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, listen, we got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the segment. And as interesting this is and how much your bravery is just blowing me away, I want to talk a little bit about Lilikoi Ladies. This is a digital marketing company you started?
Yeah, so actually, back when I was on the news, I managed the Wake Up Today, which was the morning show, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And in 2013, or was it? No, 2011, I decided to go back to school and get my master's while I was already working 60-hour weeks anchoring the morning show. And I wrote a 157-page thesis studying social media. So when I quit the news in 2014, I actually started my own social media management company. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
I have your website, by the way. You can talk over it. People will be able to hear.
Okay.
But if I'm not mistaken, oops, sorry, that's my website. You don't want to go there. You want to go here. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
Yep.
Now, tell me what we're looking at. I can scroll through it also.
Sure. So, obviously people are like, what is it? And I feel like everybody understands what social media management is now, but it's everything that has to do with the house of communication. So that's what I studied. I have my bachelor's in speech communication and then my master's in communication. Okay. But I handle public relations, all aspects of digital marketing, which includes Yelp, Instagram, Facebook, creating content, video production, voiceover work, emceeing. And so that's pretty much everything that you would need from a boutique digital marketing company. And there's Andy Bumatai's pop-ups.
I keep hitting the wrong button. I got
no worries.
I hit Tech Mini Huni Attack. So you're doing Lilikoi Ladies and your show, The Best Hawaii, all at the same time.
Yes. So Lilikoi Ladies is my umbrella LLC, and then under it I have my The Best Hawaii show and podcast. And then, but my day job 365 days out of the year is marketing.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing your amazing story. James, we can't top this. Thanks for watching and thank you for being here, Olena.
Thank you.
Aloha.